If you are regularly doing a lymphatic drainage routine and you're not seeing results, this video is for you. I'm going to talk about the number one missed thing when it comes to lymphatic drainage. That's likely the reason why you're not seeing the results that not only are you looking for, but you deserve. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Czezowski. I'm a certified functional medicine practitioner that has been in practice for 15 years, and I tend to work very closely with individuals who have drainage issues. Lymph has become a specialty of mine. And the reason I've created this YouTube channel is because on Instagram and Facebook, where I have well over 1 million followers, I tend to get very specific questions in relation to lymphatic drainage, liver drainage, even gut drainage. And so I created this channel so I can do deeper dives with you guys into how to support drainage, what does it look like, what is causing drainage issues, all things drainage. All right, so let's talk about if you're doing lymphatic drainage, and that can be anything from like you're doing my specific 7, or you're doing the total 12, or you're doing manual lymphatic drainage, like you're using your hand to move the lymph fluid in the vessels, or dry brushing, or gua sha, or rebounding, or vibration plates, whatever it may be. If you're doing those things and you're not seeing the results, first, go check this video because I talked about 3 things that could be causing you not to get the results that you're expecting and wanting. So check that out first. And then if you're doing all those things, this is the reason. Now, I'm going to talk specifically about if you're not seeing results and it's because you still have like fluid in your ankles or feet, you still have joint pain in your knees or hips, you still have fluid retention in your abdomen, you have digestive issues, you have bloating, all of your symptoms are essentially like rib cage, belly button, and down, you're likely not doing this thing properly. Now, what could this thing be? We're going to talk about one specific, very important lymph node called the cisterna chyli. The cisterna chyli is a lymph node that sits somewhere between your first and second lumbar vertebrae, and it's sitting pretty close to the spine. So this one is really deep. Now, I do show you how to stimulate that lymph node via like the J motion coming up, but we're not actually manually touching it because it's so deep. What we're hoping to do when we're stimulating the cisterna chyli in the specific 7 or the total 12 is we're hoping to create a muscular reflex that causes a contraction that's going to stimulate the cisterna chyli. Now, why is the cisterna chyli so important? Well, the cisterna chyli is ultimately where all of the lymphatic fluid from our lower body, rib cage, belly button down, comes in and merges into one area. This is where it brings the right lower side of the body and the left lower side of the body together. And the cisterna chyli also is what drains the lymph fluid from your digestive system ultimately. The reason it's called chyli is because it has a very specific fluid called chyli that comes from the intestinal tract that is rich in fats and proteins in order to circulate it. So the cisterna chyli is very, very important. And a lot of people actually have congestion there. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, well, if what I'm doing, the J motion to stimulate the cisterna chyli in the specific 7 or total 12, and it's not actually touching it, what is it that I gotta do to stimulate it? Okay, what we gotta do is we actually have to influence our diaphragm. Our diaphragm is going to sit right in front of the cisterna chyli. So if the cisterna chyli is right here and our spinal cord is my arm, thinking like straight up, the diaphragm sits right in front of it. And so what we have to do is we actually have to stimulate or work our diaphragm. When we work our diaphragm, what it's going to do is it's going to put pressure on the cisterna chyli, kind of like if we were to do our tonsillar nodes or even our termini. Now, when we ultimately stimulate our diaphragm, what we're doing is, like I said, we're massaging that cisterna chyli. We're creating pressure, which is going to help force that fluid up so that it can drain on the left side of our body, our left clavicle, our left termini. This is where all of the fluid drains from our lower body down. So what does diaphragmatic stimulation mean? Like, what does that look like? How do you do it? It's diaphragmatic breathing. Most of us do not do it. Most of us are mouth breathers. Most of us are shallow chest breathers. And I'm going to actually encourage you, watch your family, watch your coworkers, people watch, and see how many people are breathing through their mouth. When we breathe through our mouth, our shoulders tend to rise and fall. And typically when we're breathing through our mouth, we're not relaxed. We actually need to be nasal breathing for a whole plethora of other reasons, which we could say for another video. But nasal breathing and lower belly breathing, meaning we want our belly to come out and in. We don't want our shoulders to be rising and falling. If our shoulders are rising and falling, we're not actually using our diaphragm, which means our diaphragm isn't stimulating our cisterna chyli to help with drainage. So if your cisterna chyli isn't being stimulated and you have congestion there, guess what's going to happen? Gravity is going to pull that fluid down, because that's what gravity does. Gravity pulls things down. And so we're going to end up having a buildup of congested lymph, belly button and below. So we want to make sure that we're doing diaphragmatic breathing. So there's a couple different things that you can practice. You can practice box breathing. Box breathing, what that means is you inhale for, let's say, a count of 4. You're going to hold for a count of 4. You're going to exhale for a count of 4. And then you're going to hold for a count of 4 before you inhale again at a count of 4. So you're doing essentially the same amount of time for inhale, hold, exhale, hold. The easiest way to do this is to lay down flat. Why? Because we're taking gravity out of the equation. And when we lay down flat, we can put one hand on our chest and one hand on our belly. And ultimately what we're going to do is we're going to focus on having our hand on our belly come up and down with our inhale and our exhale. The hand that's on our chest shouldn't really be doing a whole lot of movement. It should stay pretty stationary. And as you work on this, as you practice this, it's going to get easier so that when you sit up, you'll be able to belly breathe or diaphragmatic breathe. Ultimately, our goal is to be belly breathing majority of the day. We've gotten away from it just because of society, stress, you name it, and we got to get back to it. So if you're somebody, like I said, that has a lot of congested fluid in the lower part of your body, take a look and see, how are you breathing? Are you belly breathing? Are you shallow chest breathing? Bet you're shallow chest breathing, because most people are. Lay down and check it out. And then one of the things that makes it super simple, because practice makes better. It's not perfect. Practice makes better. The easiest place or time to practice it is in bed before you fall asleep. And guess what? As an added benefit, not only are you helping drain your lymphatic fluid, that deep belly breathing is going to stimulate your vagal nerve, because the vagal nerve innervates the diaphragm. It's going to help you fall asleep faster, ultimately, because it's going to put you in a more relaxed state, which, heck, I don't know anybody in today's day and age that couldn't use a little bit more R&R. Let me know below if you found this helpful, because more people than not, honestly, even my one-on-one clients, when I ask them about this, they're like, oh gosh, I forget about it, because we don't have to think about breathing. But I'm going to encourage you to start thinking about how you're breathing and see if you can make some changes so that your lymphatic system can have an easier time draining. Thanks for being here, and happy draining.